Nobody never fix
Chuck,
them in order to fix the bleeding.
Chuck, that's why I want to tell you, say, no. I thought my mic was opening when I was saying it to you just now. Just before it got to that point. So you got to be careful of Vibes' argument, you know. Because Vibes want to talk about the past and lead you into a blame game. When he ask you who for fault, and we're not playing a blame game. We don't want to talk about that. We are talking about going forward.
Hey,
we are talking about
the future. Vibes can lead me.
Chuck, I think,
yes.
I think, Travis, Chuck, blessings, bro.
Blessings, yeah. Bro.
You know, this bill is a good bill. But you know who is my real people, yeah? So, it's not a his bill, yeah? I'm gonna say that. Because there is one thing that is missing from this bill. And that when people go to parliament, they don't think about it. And, really and truly, I should be out there, putting it out there in the air so that people, even if it's something good, they should consider it. One of the things that should be in this bill is how do we control capital flight? When a company comes from overseas and go and say they are putting themselves up to get a project in Jamaica, this should be in this bill, that this company must partner with a company in Jamaica, with a 60-40%, where the company in Jamaica gets 40% and the company overseas gets 60%. We have to look at this bill, Chuck, and we have to look at the things of how we do business here in Jamaica. We cannot just buy cement that is made in Jamaica and that is the only thing that is contribute to the building that we are putting up here in Jamaica, where every other finished product come from overseas and the person maybe doing the contract come from overseas. That means all of the money leave here and go back overseas. Only the little people then that is getting paid and the little taxes that paid out of the money stays here in Jamaica. We want a greater circulation of the money in our environment.
Amado, I hear and I understand. And this is the conversation I've been having with people for the longest while. Yes, we'll buy the cement that is made here in Jamaica. But what else is made here where we are import to do these products? That's our problem, Remember, Omar, and may I say this on the backdrop, that we had the manufacturing sector once, where we could have produced this building by ourselves without importing anything, We used to make everything here.
That is why I'm saying, Chuck, the law should have addressed these things because this is the situation that we are in right at this moment. All the steels come from overseas. Every wire we're buying, the steel come from overseas. Only the man alone, because all the clothes of the man are where come from overseas.
No, Amado, all the steels and wires, though, because we have two manufacturers locally that supply lots of the steels and wires for these projects.
No, they import them from overseas. The steel's imported into Jamaica. Tankwell don't make steel in Jamaica.
I'm not talking about Tankwell, I'm talking about Arc System. Arc System is a manufacturer.
They manufacture steel in Jamaica?
I don't know if they manufacture steel, but
they
we know
bring steel. Arc and them bring in steel.
No, they don't make steel. They don't make steel.
That is what I'm saying. You're importing the stuff.
Yeah, but we don't have the manufacturing locally.
But that is why, Chuck, that is why I said the bill should address these things, because where we can save, we must save the money to stay here in Jamaica. And if we see a way how to save the money by saying if a company come into Jamaica, all of that money not just leave and go out of Jamaica, but at least 40% of it stay here with them joining with a company so that money can keep on circulating. It's our, you see, people don't understand this economic thing, You see, one of the things that we have a problem, is capital flight. Capital flight is the money that is not circulating, and too much capital flight is happening in Jamaica, where businesses at the end of their quarter, they send away their profits and it don't stay here. And that put pressure on the NIR for the Bank of Jamaica to put US dollar out there for them to buy it up to
money. Chuck, hold on the Chuck. Chuck, what I say? is I support him 100%. I back this argument, Chuck.
I
And when you look
agree with
into
the
it,
argument, you know. But here's
down to JPS contribute to capital flight in this country. Down to JPS. And look how vital, important, look how integral they are to our society. And listen, I said a minute ago that we don't want to do the look back, but people must understand and must know the root cause of these things. They must understand the root cause of these things. Previous
I
governments that ran this country ran it to wreck, and we are now dealing with the fruit of that bad labor that they gave.
I understand Omalo's argument, you know. I totally understand it. But here's my issue with it. If we are gonna have a manufacture, if we are gonna have a construction boom, right? We have with cement company, which basically we don't own anymore same way. So it's just there, but we don't own it.
Capital flight.
Right? Capital flight. So we sell it, we don't own it, it's just there. Now, if we're going to have this boom in construction, or we are going to have major construction project around from Negril Point to Moran Point, there was a time back in the 80s when we had a manufacturing sector that could support what we're going to do now. We could have 90% of what we need, we could have get it locally. We know what happened to we in the 90s, early 2000s coming up, so that sector was decimated. I know that since 2016, the government has been trying to encourage manufacturing to come back locally by building out the place them and give them answer. Listen to me, we have the infrastructure. All you have to do is just move in and start building. That
to succeed at that, you see, next year's meeting and negotiation, we have to make sure we have that in mind, because next year's meeting and negotiation is going to be vital important. But I'm going to tell you something, Chuck. Yes, the capital flight that we have faced right now, most of it is caused by the cost of energy in this country. Yes, we don't want the manufacturers to come back. Yes, we don't want even the companies that are coming now for this phase and this process to invest more in Jamaica. But you can't ask people to invest more when it costs them more to be here than to be elsewhere. That's a big problem, you know?
I agree 100%. And that is why now, Omar, when you say put it in the bill, when they say put it in the bill, say you have a partner and you have to try to get it is already a requirement. It is already a requirement that any product that can be sourced locally has to be sourced locally. Okay,
Yes,
that is already
look at
not before Narra. That was before Narra. That is already a requirement in all of the contracts that we have. Any product that can be sourced locally must be sourced locally. That is already there. But if we're gonna put it in the bill, we would have to wait until we build up back the manufacturing sector in order to supply.
You see, you're looking definitely at the manufacturer, but I am also looking at the person that lives in Jamaica. Chuck live in Jamaica. Chuck profit going to stay in Jamaica if Chuck get 40% of this contract. That 40% of Chuck profit is going to stay inside of the bank. The bank going to have that money to lend to people to develop Jamaica. This is how you find money circulating in the economy.
Yes, that money going to stimulate economic activity kind there. For lend and for turn and for raise. So we understand 100%. But Omalo, you see the point that we make just now, you have to factor in that point. Even the local man that wants to start a company still is at pains, right? And then basically a break with the cost of energy in this country.
Travi, I understand that it is the bad energy policy of the People's National Party that causes. It is not just even the policy with JPS, you know. It is the policy of the LNG policy, where Edward Siago would say we have to have energy security. So he get Petrojam. What the PMP did was put LNG in private people, and it's a foreign company. So every LNG that is sold to JPS, all of that profit leave Jamaica and go overseas, while Petrojam profit stay in Jamaica. That's why I tell you, when I'm talking about Edward Seaga, I speak of him in different ways.
Again, Omala, may you agree, you know? Me just understand, say, where we are now. And by the, as we say, if your issue is that local company must be a part of development, local company, it is in the rules from we had from before Narra, you know. From before Narra, it was announced by FIWI Prime Minister that local companies must be a part of it. That before Narra, I don't know if you never hear.
One of the last time he spoke about it at length was when they were doing the launch for the Harmony Cove development in Trelawney. He spoke about it at length. And you're correct about that.
Chuck, you know what would make it official?
Hold on, bro. You see the LNG argument that you put forward just now, Omalo. That again may have to side with you because it is a factual argument. In fact, when this government start to make change and announce changes with regards to that policy and Jamaica's energy future, the company that controlled it sold recently to a new US company. Did you realize that? You realize that occurrence, Omalo?
Yeah.
So this new company that come on board is working with the government's push to change that sector and to make it more profitable and to make energy cheaper for Jamaicans, right? It was just this week that they had a meeting with the new owners. And that I tell you, Chuck, I'm all know him attack, because it's so funny that he chose to step on that particular part of argument. And this week, if he meet with them and his team meet with them to speak about our future and the LNG sector. And it is true.
I can tell you this, you know, and me say it all the while, and I'm not doing it out of naivety or some, political blindness. Omalo, we have a prime minister that studied at the feet of the best and learn from the best. And believe me when me tell you, say, anything when me and you can't think, say, why we not see this I do yet? The Prime Minister.
So why you don't
call the best name? And Chuck, his learning
why
has
you
not
don't call the best name?
His learning has not stopped. He don't put it on pause. He continue to evolve and he
Philip
continue to get better.
You better call him name. You better hot him name.
Listen to me now. Me tell you this, you know, Marlo, and I can challenge you on this, you know. I have more ratings for Seaga than you know.
You can't do that, Chuck. You can't. Nobody in a Jamaica, nobody, me not even think Seaga family rate him like how me rate him. You must be mad.
When I look at, you know, that's why when I look at Andrew now, when I realize, a Seaga bring with Andrew. A Seaga bring with Andrew. And see what Andrew I do. Every ratings for Andrew go right back to the feet of Seaga.
You know what I don't want, Chuck? I don't want you to take away our contribution of thinking and our thought process of adding to these things. Because if any one of us was in parliament, we on the outside would be expecting you to be having some ideas and thinking. Yeah? So not just because you're on the outside, you cannot contribute. And that is one of the things that I want Jamaicans to know. That you, all of us, are thinkers. And as long as we are thinking to solve problem and make it better, we all can contribute. And we all can put in something where, you know, as long as our leaders are listening and willing to say they are a part of the democracy. Yeah? Because the democracy is coming together with great ideas. And not everybody have the best idea. We are all learners of ideas. So, and to implement. So, you know, we all know that we all on the outside and the inside can contribute. And all I'm saying is this to me would be strengthened in law that any company coming to Jamaica would know that to get this contract, I have to partner. Rather than just maybe a policy statement, the government says something. It is in law within Narra. That's all I'm saying. It is a good bill already. It is a good bill. I'm not knocking the bill. It is a
So
good bill. It's just something to add.
how about this suggestion by you being in the contracts with these companies coming in? In the bill because the bill expires after 5 years. But we expect to keep the companies beyond these 5 years as partners, and we put it in our contracts with them rather than put it in the bill.
And that is why, Travis, we are putting it out there so that any way they can fit it in. Because we see capital fly, Travis. All these Kentuckys, all these Church's chicken, all these Krispy Kreme, all these foreign company quarters of quarterly earning and profit have to leave here. These things put pressure on our NRI because they have to get US to exit to send back to America. We have to protect. This is something we have to protect. If we, there was a study. I don't know if you know about the study, Travis or Chuck, but there was a study that looked at the least circulation, which community money circulate the least within their community, and
it is the blacks.
Okay, so we are operating. We cannot operate our country like how the black community operate. Yeah, and expect it to grow. It will just look like how the black community look. We can put up big concrete structures, but after the concrete structure put up, what happens after that? Does it continue? We continue having the money circulating. So this is the thing that we are saying. We are putting it out there. We have this program for people with ideas, thinking, come contribute, because what we want is when Andrew go back to the poll in the next 4 or 5 years, we have enough for we now for the attack again. All of the action on the ground speak for him.
Let me see. Let me check out this already. It says. Now check. It says Jamaica has experienced period of capital flights, especially from and let me write this in the paper so I read something. Especially from the 1970s through to the 2000s. It's not one fixed number, it happens over time, but there is a general picture. 1970 to 1980, major outflow. The 70s to the 80s, major outflow. During the era of Michael Manley and democratic socialism policies, many investors moved money out of Jamaica due to fear of nationalization, high tax and control, political instability. Estimated suggest that billions of US dollars left Jamaica during that period. Big up yourself, Rack. In the 1990s financial crisis, after banking sector instability, more capital left the country as a confidence drop. 2000 to present, capital flight still exists, but is less dramatic. Instead, you see legal investment abroad, profit shifting by multinational companies, individual holding foreign accounts. So we still have the capital flight, it's just not as dangerous as it is back then. Right? But in Russia, I think Russia's law bar any company if I'm taking more than 60% of their, I think Russia law says 60% of profit must be reinvested back in Russia. So company can only take out 40% of their profit.
That's why the companies, most of the companies, they sell off their asset. And when they start to the selling off, they can't sell it big money, little bit of money.
They can't sell it big money
to Russian nationals. But that's one thing with the international market that you want to be a part of is wary of and take action against. You understand me? There are methods to which we can grow and be a part of it.
How it is measured. Economists often estimate capital flight by looking at unexplained outflow in balance of payment, external debt versus actual investment, trade miss invoices. So that's how they measure it. Right? It says for Jamaica, some academic estimate, like those in Global Finance Watchdog, like the International Monetary Fund, suggest that total historic capital flight exceed 20 to 30 billion US over several decades. 20 to 30 billion US. So let's leave it at 20.
That is bigger than with GDP.
Yes. So let's settle at the smallest number at 20 billion. What if we retain 40% of that?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
If we retain 40% of that 20 billion US in the country too. And I don't that's why I say it what you know. You know, Omala, when we say I think we're speaking of tourism, and I told them and I gave them this scenario. Omala, I said, if an American tourist budget $2,000 for their vacation, they might come to Jamaica for a vacation and their budget is $2,000. What presently exists for majority of these people is that them find one all-inclusive hotel and then spend $1,800 on the hotel. And then come with $200 in their pocket and then probably buy two craft and go back. Now, what if we had this scenario where that same guest spend $1,000 at the hotel and the other $1,000 when they come now, they go one restaurant down the road. Then buy one sky juice from the cat man, then buy two jelly from the jelly man. The craft vendor then spend $100. You know, then go buy something from the jerk chicken man on the road, then go to the beach and then pay. You know what that extra $1,000 would that do to the economy over many years? You know how would that benefit from that $1,000? But the way it's said now is that the hotel get $1,800 and the other $200 if a stretch go as far as it possibly can. I believe some of the measures that this government implement is slowly moving towards stemming the flow of capital out of Jamaica. Now we are in a global market now where you can't just jump and do things. People will just take up them business and go elsewhere. We can't act with brute force anymore. We can't just sign one law where say you have to keep your money here. But what we have to do now is create incentive, give people something for them to reinvest in.
What this government has done, Chuck, has crafted new and favorable tax policies to keep them here and to keep them to spend more money here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of the process right now. The new
that is one of the things that has to be done.
That we have
right.
to, yeah, I understand.
We can't operate with the hammer.
That's it.
So we have to craft these policies that invite people to say, listen to me, rather than take out the money. And a big part of it in returning manufacturing to Jamaica, Chavi, I go begin with that negotiation of the JPS bill. And that is why when Darrell Vaz said, I am not going, I rather lend on the money myself than extend the contract. Again, people who don't understand the problem are going to find something wrong with it. If you understand the problem in Jamaica, and that is why I tell people, say, enough of them come ready and we turn on them phone and talk about them, a blog and them, a talk politics. They don't know the crap where them talk about, because guess what? They don't understand the problems in Jamaica. They don't
But them can't see more than just in front of them in a plate. They can't see more than just a plate of food in front of them in a lot of them in a truck. So they have to,
are the orange flag. Unless you know the problems that the government is trying to solve or the playground that where we depend, then you can't have no sensible discussion about it. Again, It cannot be the norm where you want to rebuild a fence around a school and it takes 2 years. That can't be normal. And guess what now? You see, when something go wrong, say there's a little argument now, somebody running out of school, they want a little picnic get damaged. TVJ, CVM, I go over there. And you go here say, how long the fence down now? We tell it to the ministry, and nobody now do nothing. But we don't have any reporters or any journalists that's gonna dig into the process and realize, but shit, here's the problem right here. Yesterday, a report came out, Chavi, where Member of Parliament, Wavell Hines, went to the PAC and say, him get report that persons working with the China Hub are being paid less than minimum wage. And you sit down on that information and you wait till you go to Parliament to ask that question. Again, the little baby, the newborn baby we live under the tent from Melissa, where nobody can find except them. The people them we have sex in front of the picnic them, where only the JTA president know. And now Wavell Hines alone know which part the people are get paid less than minimum wage. Now, I'll give you my actions in all three scenarios. If I know where a little newborn baby since Melissa live under one tent, my first call is to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. And say, Minister, them people, you need to come help them people. It's a newborn baby, them a live under one tent. Now, if you come on social media, and then when people ask about you can't tell them. If me are the president of the JTA and me get one call from one of my principals, say this happening in front of the people, them, my first call is to the ministry. So listen to me, go deal with this. No, quite important. If I am Wavell Hines and I get this call, so some people I get paid less than minimum wage, that is now a legal matter. I am going to call the minister right away and say, fix this. This needs to be looked upon immediately. Where are the persons that are aware of these so-called incidents? Then keep it to themselves, and when they get a chance to go on a political platform, then jump up and then try to politicize these things. If nothing goes so, come in and believe them. If nothing goes so, come in and believe them. The fact is,
if nothing goes so, if anything goes like that, the people should understand that what they're doing is not for their benefit, but for them to try and have political gain from their suffering.
Thank you. It is about exploiting your situation, not trying to help. If you are being paid less than minimum wage, the Ministry of Labor have somewhere you go and you report this. I am sure Wavell Hines, being a lawmaker now, would have known this. But when you go to the Public Accounts Committee and that you put that in a question to the minister, who are you trying to help? Who are you trying to help? Are you trying to help? Are you trying to just be political? Again, if we don't know the problems that we're having, then you will not recognize the solution when it is coming. And that is why I tell people anyway, every single one of them people here who turn on them platforms, say them a blog and a support PMP, are a waste of time. Majority of them, first of them don't live here, they live overseas. They don't know the reality on the ground. They don't understand nothing that is happening. They don't understand, right? Narra is, and I don't want to reuse the term we I used long time, but no better than that, is probably the most consequential legislation we put before. And depending on the success of it, me believe it needs to be expanded. And we must only operate under NARA until we can remove some of these red tapes that is holding back our progress. We have too much of them. It can't be normal.
The system needs to be fixed.
Its system needs to be fixed. Right? It can't be normal. And it is must no longer be the normal. But what we have is a situation where when something go wrong, are the politician's fault. Simple, that is always the politician's fault.
Can't be business as usual, Chuck. You know, last night I said something. Every year hurricane come, we are build back. You know how much money that we are waste? It cannot be that every year the people of Jamaica must see to it that NARA work and that we get the job done, because if we ever spend money every year to build back, what's the purpose? We are wasting money. We must build stronger, not build back every time. So when we make our next money, we add to the firmness of what we had before. We keep building back.
That's why the term resilience is in there. That's why the term resilience is in there, because we have to be in a suitable manner.
Yes. Well, that now tear down again, Chavi. All you might need a maintenance. We cannot continue to build back.
That is why zinc roof, I believe, must now be outlawed in Jamaica. Even if you have a zinc roof in Jamaica.
You on that, Chuck. I second you on that.
Yes.
That's 100%, Chuck. That's 100%. Because we would
every year hurricane come, we have to deliver truckload of zinc to put on people. Back, and the same roof get blow up by the same hurricane will come back next year.
Chuck, I want to point out something to you, Chuck. The difference with the PMP talking about NARA, and even just we know we're in a parliament that talk about NARA, we are contributing something that could even make the bill more stronger. What they are doing is criticizing the bill and criticizing what is not happening. They are not contributing nothing to make Jamaica a better place. They have no great contribution to nothing, as a party that has never really contributed nothing to Jamaica, but always in an opposition mindset, trying to gain power. That's just basically where they are at. And when you're in that mindset, you really don't see what it is that you should contribute to make Jamaica a better place. That's why I tell Jamaicans, we are the opposition. We don't really need the PMP to be the opposition. We supposed to act in that role that we may contribute to make Jamaica a better place. Because we can have conversation here that a politician can listen to and say, damn, I wasn't thinking about that. Maybe we can go and reconstruct it in a bill or something to benefit the country. You cannot listen to PMP platform or PMP politician and put nothing in a nothing, because them not contribute nothing.
One of the suggestions that was made, and hold on, let me back up, because Omalo, you there and you understand the process. Tuesday, Omalo, there was a near 11.5 hour marathon session in the parliament. I think it is the longest our parliament has ever sat. 11.5 hours. 20 amendments. 20 amendments to the bill. 4 pages of amendments. And after all that, the bill still only pass on party line.
That is it. Yeah. What I have just said before, Chuck. I've confirmed that the People's National Party is not in the interest of development, but they are there to gain power. They are not there to contribute in the development of Jamaica, you know. They are there to put themselves in a position hoping that the government may fall down, that they gain power, because they are not contributing nothing that the people can say they are doing greater than the party in power is doing to gain power. They want the government to fail to gain power. That is only means by which they are seeking power, not to contribute ideas and thoughts that are going to make Jamaica a better, different place. That is why you see the bill part along party line, because the PMP is just there for one reason, and one reason is to stand in the way of progress. That's it.
So let me ask you this then, Omalo. Let me ask you this. What would be the difference Tuesday evening with the government turning up at Parliament with the bill, as is, make no changes, call for a vote, and pass it on party line?
It would then give them the same talking point. The government is this. They go as far. I think you understand who is Victor Orban.
Yeah, I know Victor.
And they go as far as to think Jamaicans know about him because he lost the election. So we are putting people that lose election and affiliate them with Andrew Ones. You see, the PMP is not about development. What the PMP is there for is to stand in the way of development so that they may win by default. It's a default win they want, Chuck. That's all they want.
I'm thinking, Omar, it would, you see, I'm thinking that Jamaicans who sat up, who enjoyed the debate, who watched, wasted 11 hours of their lives because even though there was a and I speak at this part, Omar, because I think that this part of the debate was telling. Omar, there was an amendment where Isaac Buchanan made a recommendation.
Mark Wallace.
His recommendation was accepted. They went back to committee and they made the amendments word for word as to what Isaac suggested. And when it came back for a vote, in the vote for it.
Just 1 second, look at this. I am a representative.
Come here, Blair. Me know to say that before what day, you know.
1 second, Chuck. 1 second, Chuck. Chuck, I am a representative from Westmoreland. I'm a People's National Party representative from Westmoreland, from St. Elizabeth, from St. James.
Trelawney, St. James, yeah.
And I have contributed nothing to the Narra in terms of making the development of speed and efficiency in terms of bringing back my people them back on their feet. Who these people represent? They represent the PMP. They don't represent the constituency that they elected them. Because if they represent the constituency that elected them, they would have contributed to something that is going to bring back these people's life back in a timely order. So we are only seen here in Jamaica, and we must point it out, where a party is only standing in the way, hoping that the other party fail, and not contributing in their duty as the opposition of good ideas to make Jamaica a better place.
I agree 100%. I've said it on numerous occasions, you know. Me say if your dead body in the street is what the PMP feel will give them power, that is what they will strive for. We've seen it over and over.
But Chuck, Amara, in extension of Amara's argument, you mean to tell me that after their views were taken on board, both Isaac Buchanan and Mark Golden's views were taken on board, and the amendment was made, they still never find it necessary and useful to add their voice and add their vote to the numbers so that they would have given a sort of united approach to the cause. They decide to stay out of it. So you ask the question, what they wanted from the whole process. What was in it for them? It seems to me that they never really... Yeah, it seems to me that they never interested in all it was just a pretend Like they won't
As we
support
say, no,
it.
that section of
One
it.
person said something that sum up the entire PNP's attitude towards the bill, how they operated with the whole debate. Is that lady there from Spanish Town? What's her name again? Denise Daly, who said, we don't have no problem with the bill. We just don't like what in it.
She had
It
done.
sums up the PNP. Yeah, it sums up their every action.
Mark
Because-
Golding, after years of complaining about the government must do something to grow the economy, do something to grow the economy. Mark Golding said, all him seeing at the bill is a drive to grow the economy.
Chuck, don't say that, don't repeat that, Chuck. Because Chuck, then you might have to make me start a revolution. I could not believe he said that. I could not believe he said that, Chuck.
Mark
He said
Golding
it's to
from
grow the economy,
2020,
and you're against that. And you're against that,
from
bro.
2020
Hey.
has been saying that the government now put forward no plan to grow. There's nothing in this budget to grow. Nothing in this budget. Nothing in this budget. Mark Golding stood in the parliament, and that's why I tell people, say, you see, something wrong with PMP supporters. Them not listen.
Yeah, man, wrong with them, man. And the PMP people, them.
Mark
Everything.
Golding said the only thing he see in this bill is them a try grow the economy.
And people really are going to listen to them, people, yeah? Then I saw these people, eh? They have to be sadistic, brother, if you think
An 11-hour debate, 20 amendments, 4 pages of amendments.
And none of them could agree with it. That means
And
they
it
don't
was
make no sense.
passed
So that means
and
they only were
passed
talking to. They only was talking.
Yes.
They only talking.
After
That's
all
the,
of that, it was passed on party lines.
Mm.
And for those who don't understand what party lines mean,
A
it
divide.
means that one single member of the
Yeah.
opposition
Opposition supported the bill.
voted for it.
Just a minute, Pat. Chuck, if we was living in a country where the people of the constituency would ask their MP, why didn't you vote for this bill? What was it that in this bill that was going to stop we from developing as a constituency? If the people of Jamaica had that mindset, these people would carry a greater fear when they go to parliament to represent their party rather than represent the people.
And that is why I maintain we have to move. And this is why, you see, this is why I congratulate and I big up Marlene Mala who fought for her position. When she sit there in parliament on the government side and she poke hole at the bill, she poke hole, I commend her because I
love her.
believe we have to move away from party politics to representational politics. How does representational politics work, people? For those of you who don't understand, representational politics work like this with the Narra bill. The government proposed Narra bill. Every single member of parliament get a copy of that bill. You know how you do representational politics now? You take that bill to your constituents. And your constituents, you present the bill to them and you get their views on it. Some are going to like it, some not going to like it. And then you come back to the parliament and you suggest amendments based on what your constituents tell you, because of them are the ultimate people are going to benefit from it. And you suggest based on what them tell you. When your constituents' amendments are accepted, you vote in support of that bill. Because what you are doing, you are representing their ideas.
Yeah.
Now, of all the amendments that were suggested by the PMP, tell me one of them that go to them constituents and say, this is in the bill, what do you think about it?
Because the answer to that question, you know, when it at the very core of the PMP soul, you know, it's not so much of the people, you know, but how it can use the people investment in them to advance their own cause as a party, rather than as a people in the constituency. That's the core, you know. In other words, that is why you have a lot of people like Blair and Alvaro and all them people will come and lie.
Please. Oh my God, I nearly dropped down.
Thank you.
Sorry, not you. And the other people them lie. Even on this program, even on program like this, when they invite them, you hardly can get the truth out of them. I mean, you have to pull teeth to get them to agree with you and a position of principle or policies towards Jamaica development. So that's the idea behind them, you know. Is that for them to deceive the people believing that the people them interest being represented. Them not in other people them. They said it out of their own mouth. Them not in other people them. Look how they treat the people of Westmoreland. You think they might go back to them people and ask them what opinion about when they think about this bill. They not busy with that. They don't care about the people them. A JP alone people have an interest in people development. That's why they suffer the most in terms of what their ideas and how they want to bring it across to the people them. They suffer the most.
If I was the government today, I would be having a motorcade across Westmoreland, in particular, making the people them know. Say, listen to me.
Good idea.
These are the things the bill would have done for you, but your representative did not vote for it.
True.
I wouldn't even tell them. I wouldn't just go. What the Prime Minister need to do is do a 14 parish run, selling the bill to the Jamaican people. Go around constituency by constituency and celebrate. But I'm going to tell you something, Chuck. You see, Jamaica democracy is really in a place where if we don't address it, we are going to be stagnant for a very long time. We have created IP, we have created FID, we have created MOCA, we have the Auditor General. And when the People's National Party goes to Parliament, they make it seem like there is no oversight body in Jamaica. And along with them comes these NGO groups, as if these people have no power, they're the institution that they serve, has no authority, and they are just existing here in Jamaica. When you take away, when you make the Jamaican people feel these way about these institutions that are guardrail put to protect them, that they have no power whatsoever, yeah? You know what you do to the society? You send a greater perception of corruption, really, rather than corruption really happening into the society. And we have to address this. This is a danger to our society.
But Omalo, for the last 5 years, 6 years in 2026 now, is the perception of corruption them are selling now. The perception of corruption is what is being sold, the accusation. Not once or the evidence, just say it.
And that is dangerous for our democracy, because when you invalidate institutions like the IC, the Auditor General and all these type of people, yeah, then where the confidence is going to come from the people to trust their leaders. If you can't, one thing politics deal with trust, just like how the financial institution deal with trust. When the financial institutions loses trust, then you maybe find a run inside of it, you find it start failing. The politics in Jamaica is failing because of the trust factor that is lingering out there, where one party is trying to bring down a next party because they want to win by default, not by brighter ideas.
There is Amado, I don't know if you went over the list of the 28 civic society group that wrote to the Prime Minister recently.
You're lucky you have time.
No, I have to go. These names are interesting to me. As a Jamaican, Amado. Have you ever heard of a group called Grounding with My Sisters?
With my sister.
Heard of that group.
No, sir, we're Pepe.
I have never heard of Fewi Children Foundation.
Yes, sir. When your friend come ask him.
Negril. I have never heard of Negril Internet Coalition for Kids.
Sure. I say institutions that I voted for I voted in a democracy. I voted for the government of Jamaica. I never voted for no NGO to make no decisions for me. The NGOs, I cannot hold them accountable. I can hold the government of Jamaica accountable. I don't worry about NGO. I don't know who is funding them and who they are representing behind the scene. I know
and
the
that is
politicians
why,
that represent my interests.
and that is why I commend the government for ripping up that letter and throw it in the garbage. I commend the government for ripping up that letter and tossing it in the garbage.
And I am going to tell you, anytime the government of Jamaica, the Jamaica Labour Party, start to run their government based on NGOs idea, them cannot get my vote. Them better make the NGO them vote for them.
No, but Amala, as Chuck has pointed out, you know, that is what Andrew recognized, you know, and they recognize as much as them in the country, them are the sailor of them are the captain of the ship. Them are the captain of the ship. So rest assured that my brother. They have
I am not sure they are in the country. I am not sure that these groups are in the country. I'm not sure that these groups have any interest of Jamaica. I have never heard them comment on anything. There's several youth groups on this list, and there over the last couple of years there has been so much things happening to our youths. In fact, right now there is a epidemic of children violence going on, children and children violence, and I have never heard any of them put out a single statement about it.
Yeah.
But them are right government, but Narra bill. The government should have taken out a public service announcement on every media and publicly tear up that letter. And if you know no toilet tissue, use the paper and wipe your mouth and flush it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we think that letter value.
If I mean like the government, me not open it, me send it back to them.
Chuck. So few children, if I may look into few children. We go up on the Instagram page. You know when was Few Children's last post, its last communication to its follower? Before the hurricane last year.
You can't tell all of that, you know.
From before the hurricane, but yet here they are talking up them mouth because something happened. Because they want to come make a impact. Sign on as part of 28, one of them been inactive, dead and dormant from last October.
I tell Michaela Jackson, I never vote for no NGOs. I vote for the government of Jamaica. And when the government of Jamaica make a decision that I don't like, I can vote them out when it comes to election. I can't vote you out. I don't know who in them organization, who fund them organization, and what are the purpose behind funding their organization. I vote for I'm living in a democracy, and I cannot let NGOs come and capture this democracy away from me, where NGOs have more power than the voter itself in Jamaica.
Same so. Well said.
See what I've said this all the while that Jamaica is the strongest economy I know. There's no economy around the world as strong as the Jamaican. Sorry, not economy. There is no democracy around the world as strong as the Jamaican democracy. None. We are the strongest. 2 times we went to the polls and there was a margin of 1 seat separating both parties, and we had peaceful transfer of power both times. Ever since Mark Golding rise to the leadership of the PMP, I have been worried about our democracy since then. First time in my history, I'm worried about the democracy. Because again, I will say it, Mark Golding interest is power, not leadership. Power, not leadership. And there is a difference between the two. power versus leadership.
Chuck, just a minute. Mark Golding's interest is financial. Seeking power to get financial interest is all motive behind gaining power is financial. It's all motive. It's all motive. Mark Golding has proved to the Jamaican people that he cares nothing about their development. Because when he had a chance in Jamaican people's work time of financial
Well, I know, Marlo. Richard St. Arbin, Bridget. Richard St. Arbin, you and I are not friends in any way, Richard St. Arbin. Me make a promise to you from 2024, and the promise is stand up until this day. Nobody feels any forget. Anyway, me book you up, me tell you what going to happen to you already. And then where you come here and comment. Anyway, me book you up, me tell you what going to happen to you already, Richard St. Arbin.
I will not support that. I will not support that on this live.
Chuck, we don't support that there. No, yeah, we don't back that one there.
I will not support that on
I
this
don't
live.
support you making the comrade nervous in our home country. We will not have it.
Shipping it to his highest, he must say.
The house they gone through the gate already, you know. Right? The house they gone through the gate.
Chuck. Our JCF will deal with you, Chuck. Anything outside of the law.
I look forward to it. Right? But as I said, people, and this as I said, me just every time they open their mouth, it proves that these people that unless you understand the problems that needs to be solved in Jamaica, you can't have a proper discussion about it. Because even if by the devil's wish, the PMP get back in power, they're gonna have the same problem. The only difference is the PMP has been used to maneuvering the problem because their idea is not to serve the people.
Chuck, stop, Chuck. Let me tell you this. Chuck, hold on. Chuck, hold on. Me have to tell you. Stop me, Chuck. You see, they attack about Feed Children Foundation. You know, so Feed Children just release a statement to nationwide and allied news entity them. I said that moving the age of consent will stop teenage pregnancy.
But I know that. No, you see the problem. They hear me, I call up them name, you know.
Their name come from people, so they try to seek prominence.
Yes, man, they hear me, I question them. But I don't know that it is one of the dumbest suggestions I've ever heard coming out of the Damien Crawford mouth. Damien Crawford believes that the age of consent make we have teenage pregnancy.
But them say teenage pregnancy is down in Jamaica.
But Damien believes that the age of consent cause it.
No. You see, many of our teenage pregnancy incident is way before the age of 16. Way before the age of 18. 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old. That is what the problem now. The problem is not the age of consent, Mr. Crawford. The problem is, guess what? The problem is the lack of consequences for the great tone man them. We are breed have a little picnic them. Lack of consequence. And I can tell you this because I know of a particular case where the girl was 13. When she went to the hospital to give birth, the doctors and the nurses said, we now release her, tell the father come, we are going to hold on for her in here because the father need to face the consequences. And the old grandmama hide the man, not carry the man go there, not make the man go there. Dino, come here, boy. You know, me I look for somebody have a comrade mind to ask a question. I think Dino, maybe you can try and answer it to me. Dino, me tell you if you lick me up on what you know. Here is your chaps.
Dino, me tell Dino, me ask if you link me for one day, more have a discussion with you about something, you know. Right? But that idea for move the age of consent is one of the stupidest things.
Dino Chuck.
Yeah, I get from Baby and Crawford.
Dino. They were Chuck and Cobb and others. Chuck.
Yeah, man, we are here, you.
I hear Dino style and class up the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance. Said, Jesus Christ. And when the people at the Dino, man, the man call him out at a name. He said, massive God.
You see, raising conversation level is not everybody can do it. Right? And again, I will maintain this stance. It doesn't matter the amount. If the PMP them turn on 100 live today, tomorrow and the next day, and them set on this live and them talk and then talk and then talk. You see, through the simple fact that they don't understand the problems that are facing Jamaica, they will never have a positive discussion. You know what the PMP call a positive discussion for them? Somebody when they come over there and then cuss and then tell the government now do nothing.
Yeah.
Then get 10 people come and say government now do nothing for them. That is a positive discussion.
Yeah.
If you don't know the problems that the government is trying to solve, you will never understand the solution that are being put forward.
True.
Narra is the solution. And them could have ball eye water, Paul, your background nice when you're not talking like you have a machine run or something. Narra is the solution. And only if you know the problem, you can know what the solution is, that the solution is Narra. The problem is simple this. As the minister said earlier today, the Minister of Education said, from 2016, she want to build one fence around one school. Sorry, that's why from 2024, she tried to build a fence around a school. Now at 2026, and she just get the approval. Now at 2026, and she just get the approval. That cannot be business as usual. 2022, yes. And now at 2026, and she just get the approval. That is the problem that Narra is here to solve. The people of Troy in Manchester was without a bridge for 5 years before the government could have started repairing the bridge. 5 years. 5 years before the government could have started repairing the bridge. That is the problem the government is solving with Narra. So again, if you don't understand the problem, you can have no sensible conversation about the solution. In fact, if you don't understand the problem, you won't even recognize the solution.
Chuck, the gentleman that died as a result of a hole being in a bridge that is closed would have been saved if we had a Narra a long time ago. So that bridge has been out of commission for an extended period and no repairs hasn't been done. And he ended up losing his life because the bridge cannot be addressed.
Exactly. And guess what? The argument out of that, Chavi, is that, boy, look how long the bridge did there and government now fix it. That's the argument coming out of that, the bridge did a long time and government now fix it. But it took 5 years, government, the money is there. The money, the funding is there. The minister also spoke that they had a plan to fix up some of the facilities. at some school across the country. They had the funding, the money is there in them budget. From 2022, the money is there in them budget. But them can't get nothing done because of the albatross process, the PMP legacy. If you don't understand the problem, you won't recognize the solution. And that is the problem where comrade face. They don't, although them turn on live every day and then group up 5, 10 of them over there and then chat and then chat and then chat. They can only tell you what them think is wrong. This wrong, they know if you do that wrong, that wrong, that wrong. But they don't know the problems. 90% of them, 90% of them. And I will bet my life on this. Bala don't know how government operate. Alvaro don't know how government operate. And unless you know the problem, you won't recognize the solution. Excellence in a car don't have a clue. Extreme beauty don't have a clue. But at them, they are live every day, pretending to have information. Yes, at them turn on platform from sun up till sundown. Chop City, big up yourself. If you don't understand the problem, you have to take time out to understand the problem. I have never have the luck to pass on platform and actually hear a valid discussion going on. The Tri-Bridge was in a PMP constituency. I have never heard a discussion going. We could find out why the bridge takes so long to build. It can't be politics. It can't be politics. There must be a reason. Why these things take so long? Why PMP would put a bill that is geared at speeding up recovery to a joint select committee that was going to take up to 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, probably 5 years for the bill to move from that committee. Who would that benefit? Why, sure, I tell you. But my folks, Chop City, she just a reach. Time I take my leave. Again, it's Friday. I have early assignment for the last couple of days, you know. But luckily tomorrow is an half day. So we'll be here for a marathon session tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to go through that entire sitting of Parliament. Analyze, break it down, and see what we can learn from it. So we're going to meet here tomorrow again. Travis, Soji, highly blessed.